Being one of the most charismatic characters on She-Ra, Double Trouble steals every scene they enter.
I see what you did there, Mr. Scoffer, and I agree. Not only are they an awesome shape-shifting, non-binary character, but they are also a perfect sample of a neutral who only minds their personal interests.
Double Trouble's divine neutrality is one of the reasons they managed to land a crack in Catra's delusions when no one else succeeded in doing so. The moment where Double Trouble, and I quote, figures out Catra's character, is the beginning of Catra's transformation and redemption arc, even though it might look as if she only began to change after she ends up on Horde Prime's ship. It's Double Trouble who makes Catra face the truth about her own toxicity. And the question is, how did they succeed? Why did they trigger the process of Catra's change?
Why indeed? Catra used to have serious trust issues. And for good reason, to be honest. I wonder what makes her believe a mercenary. Is it really all about Double Trouble's neutrality? Did Catra think they might be objective?
In order to realize someone's objectivity, you need to think rationally. And Catra's emotional state didn't allow her to remain calm and rational at the time of her big talk with Double Trouble. Though, as I've mentioned, Double Trouble's neutrality does play a certain role in making Catra believe their words. There are more important issues. The first reason is Catra herself. If you look at the series, Catra tends to get attached and depend on mostly emotionally cold and/or dysfunctional people. Unlike Adora, from the beginning she is very well aware that Shadow Weaver is not a good person. Neither does she consider Hordak a noble hero that fights against evil princesses. But it doesn't stop her from wanting their praise more than anything else. She seeks their meager approval and pushes away those who are trying to share their warmth with her. People like Scorpia and Adora.
Didn't she begin to push Scorpia away because of Adora's so-called betrayal?
Adora's betrayal is the fans' favorite excuse of why Catra was so toxic towards Scorpia. But if you take a look at Catra and Adora's childhood, you can see it clearly. Catra pushed Adora away from a very young age. If it was not for Adora being the good-natured ray of sunshine she mostly is, Catra would have lost her a long time ago. She didn't just treat Scorpia coldly because of Adora's betrayal. She did it because she is used to rejecting unconditional warmth and kindness, mostly due to the Shadow Weaver's influence. Maybe she felt like she didn't deserve it, wasn't good enough for that. She felt more comfortable confronting everyone and trying to be closer to people who were distant and cold, because their appreciation was harder to get and therefore more deserved. Besides, getting praised the hard way didn't require Catra to be vulnerable, which she hated being because of her upbringing. Cold people make you hide your vulnerabilities. They want you to be perfect. Warm people allow you to relax, make you think you can allow yourself to be weak. But considering the fact that being in Horde made Catra believe that weakness was equal to being a failure, Catra didn't want to allow herself to relax. She wanted to be perfect and attached herself to those who expected nothing less from her. Catra repeated her attachment mistake with Double Trouble too. She considered them close, even though they honestly noted that the only reason they worked for Horde and Catra herself was because of the money. Double Trouble made it clear that they didn't care for her, but as always, she wanted to get support from a person who wasn't capable of giving it. And as Double Trouble tears her illusions apart with their betrayal, she is finally vulnerable enough and hurt enough to be willing to hear the truth.
So, basically, Double Trouble succeeded at what others didn't because they caused her extreme pain? And because they were the kind of person Catra usually took seriously?
Partially. There is also another important thing. Double Trouble is the only person who is capable of actually figuring out someone's character. They don't just play the role, they become the person whose shape they take, on an emotional and mental level. Adora and Scorpia truly cared for Catra, but they could never get her way of thinking. For that, they would need to walk a few miles in her shoes. Double Trouble, on the other hand, was able to really get under Catra's skin, both literally and metaphorically. That's why they are the only ones who were able to make Catra face the facts.
Isn't it kind of sad that the only person who understood Catra figured out her fears and vulnerabilities on a whim? Out of curiosity and for artistic purposes?
Look on the bright side. If it was not for the cold shower Double Trouble gave Catra, she might have never found it in herself to switch to Adora's side, even after facing Horde Prime.
That's true. And what do you guys think? Was Double Trouble's success in talking with Catra their biggest moment of glory on the show? Or do you have any other moments in mind?
Let us know in the comments!